Hello everybody, this is Frogman and welcome back to Levitated. I'm gonna tell you right off that I've been a lot busy in between episodes, mainly because of the fact I took a little bit of a look at what we wanted to do today and realized there was an awful lot of programming for crafting for the AE system plus a bunch of other stuff. So I spent a good amount of time doing various things. So let's talk first off about where we kind of left off last episode, which was we had built the implosion compression thingy, whatever that dude is up there, the implosion compressor, and we got started into UU Matter. And I have yet to kind of take you guys up there through the little program that I wanted, but it was the first thing I built right after the episode was over with. So it's kind of sat up there and run for a little while. So let's go talk about how we're going to do UU Matter, and then we're going to talk about moving forward. Hit the right button in this system in here. As we notice, there's a couple of things that are possibly kind of starting to look a little bit better. So let's go over here and talk about how I'm going to do UU Matter for the moment in time. I said I was going to try to grab about 16 recyclers, and we were going to use a couple of things as far as making stuff so that we could try to keep this most of the way full of scrap. Now, if I so chose, I can make this even bigger and make this thing stay pretty much full of this stuff all the time, so it's pulling out as much UU Matter as possible. But right now, well, we've got 8,100 pieces of UU Matter, which means I can make a lot of stuff with what's in that thing. So it's pretty well decently worked out. And I came over here mainly so that I could see this. I was going to move that to, actually, I don't want it on that side. I was going to move that to the actual the system over there and kind of contain things, but I figured that's worth a little bit more fun to just leave it right there for now, so we can run an ME cable all the way over to here and plug it into the system. And actually, let's do this. Bidirectional and do this. Yes, that's good. Great, wonderful. And then we can run that up to there and we'll be able to see it into the system. So if you guys have not seen certain things on how things work with these recyclers, and this has been around for a really long time, the way that you make scrap is you try to feed as much of a specific type of thing as you possibly can into a recycler as fast as you possibly can. So every single one of these recyclers all have 4 overclocker upgrades in them, and all of them are being fed as something that you can see right here, which is a kind of a cheese. And I'm going to straight up say it. I think this is if they're going to allow it in the game, I'm going to use it. I'm not calling this cheesing it. If they're going to allow this to be usable inside this and be able to do work, to do the work, we're going to use it. So what I'm doing, and I'm pretty sure quite a few of you probably have seen something similar to this, is we're using water to make an infinite amount of chiseled bits water thingies. So the reason why I'm using that is it's a really kind of a simple thing, and it's kind of the reason why I'm also forcing the AE system to craft a lot of these other deals, is so that we can get rid of a lot of things. I want to be able to just use the smallest amount of thing that I can possibly do without having to have a massive production of certain things. So let's talk about chisels and bits here. I don't tend to use chisels and bits very often. However, I think what we can do today, if I have a drawer, is let's take one of these drawers right here, and is this the regular normal 32 stack one, and do I have an upgrade for you that I can play with? Yeah, just make another one of those, no big deal. We'll just grab one of these, and we're gonna grab a singular block, single, we'll just do that. Grab me one of those. I made a whole bunch of TNT. I've been crafting a lot in between episodes, so we're gonna have to kind of play with this, but I did kind of want to touch on this little thing. I guess I still have the thing up here that I was using, so that's fine. Does this still have its upgrade in it? Great, wonderful. We'll put that upgrade in there as well. So the reasoning why I'm interested in playing with chisels and bits, especially for something simple as this, is that normally what you would do is you'd find a trash item and you'd pump that trash item into a recycler and just continuously over and over and continuously produce trash items. And before we had chisels and bits, generally what we did was we either fed a miner or multiple miners or something that were running at max speed into a bunch of these, or you'd make a massive cobblestone array, or you did something. And then chisels and bits came along. So the beauty about chisels and bits is that is a single block, right? It's a single block of material. And if I go Alt and same material and go whack, I now have 4,090 some odd items of little teeny tiny things that work perfectly fine in this little dude right here. So that means that the more scrap I can produce, the more UU matter I can produce in here. It's another one of those compounding things. It takes a lot of scrap to make a lot of UU matter, especially in these matter fabricators. And in the new tech Reborn, it takes quite a bit. So the point about the being able to use chisels and bits is I just took one single block and turned it into over 4,000 specific items that can be used to build this kind of stuff. So how do you do that normally? Well, you can't do that with a regular solid block, but Chisels and Bits gives us the opportunity to use the fluid bit tank. And a fluid bit tank, which is really, really, really stupidly cheap, if I can get it to come up here, fluid bit tank, where is it? This dude right here is nothing. It's a little bit of iron, some glass, and a piece of wood. Whatever fluid you pump into this tank right here, whatever fluid that will work with Chisels and Bits, suddenly now becomes a drawable or pullable item in stacks. So one bucket of water turns into 4,000 things over there. So we can just essentially just force feed all these poor guys little bitty teeny tiny pieces of junk stuff. I mean, I don't call it junk specifically because it's, you know, it is kind of taking a little bit of time. And to build this little process did cost us a decent amount of resources, but for what it's worth, it works just fine. So let's explain it a little bit. I'm using an infinite water source because of the fact we have the endervoirs. These things are amazing. They work great, and they're keeping up just fine. In order to be able to interact with this thing, sometimes you have to be a little funky, and I tested it with various things, and for whatever reason, it was not interested in using either being next to the endervoir or using the fluid conduits from Ender.io to be able to pump water into it. So we're using a transfer node fluid kind of thing, which is being able to totally, completely keep up with the progress here. So that's then pumping water into the Chisel Bits fluid tank, and we're using, I could easily make this look a lot nicer than I have it right now, but I don't really care. We're using, I forget how many, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides of this, 4 sides of this tank. We're pulling out with on the, I think this one only has like 1 or 2 things, and I really need to quit doing that because now I have a bunch of crap I don't need. We have a trash can. Anyhow, it's an infinite supply of small, teeny tiny little things, and it's only costing us a bucket of water every so often. I forget exactly how much the tank holds, but you can see right there, it's continuously holding right around 4,000 things that are perfectly usable in here, and I don't have to automate the production of anything else. So they just suck it in, they get put into here, we feed these guys a bit of power, those bits, or I should say the bits get stuffed into there, the scrap and the recycled junk comes into here and gets turned into UU matter. And that's all costing us right around 12,000 RF a tick, pretty much constantly to run. So it's not terrible, but for what I wanted, that'll do everything we needed to do. Now, I had thought that what I was going to do with this is I was going to use the UU matter to be able to start the next process, but we're kind of playing around with it, and it's another one of these. This is one of those, if you're going to do it, just do it. Just get it over with, get it usable. If you want more than this, just keep building it and make it taller and bigger and everything like that. But for that matter, UU matter can be utilized to make various things that you may want, including various fluids. So if you felt bad about doing that, you could use this to make the water, to make the stuff, to make the things, so that it's an infinite, or it's I think at that point it'd probably be a full cycle loop. I think it would probably be actually, it may or may not, I don't know. It may or may not be, you know, where you wouldn't run out of UU matter and continuously keep water produced and stuff like that. But for our sense and purposes, what we're probably going to use it for is the occasional need to craft something that we might accidentally not have enough of. Generally speaking, probably going to be emeralds or emerald ores, because we're still having a kind of a hard time getting a hold of that. Iridium we can get a hold of, and most everything in this list at this point we can currently craft. I can use it to craft lava if I felt like, or compressed air, or carbon, or calcium, or carbon fiber, hydrogen, mercury, methane. I mean, some of this stuff, there's a use for it as we go. Nope. Where are we? 4. Glycerol, beryllium. I mean, I think actually we could probably be using this to get to the next level of stuff. So where is the filler? Anyhow, we're going to go along and play with a few other things. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that, and I wanted to kind of show that that's how we're going to do this. It's an infinite source of stuff, and for that 12,000 RF a tick, we're getting probably twice as much stuff as we would coming out of here. I don't know. I haven't even tried to do the math, and I really don't care. I'm only after a certain amount of that stuff. Once that fills up, once that drawer fills up, this whole system will stop running, and we'll be fine. But it's got, whoa, hello. I forget how many in it now. That many. So it's going to be a long time before that thing fills up. So just figured on working on that part, and you guys get to see a little bit of the silliness. That's one of the ways that I've done that before. And again, one of my favorite ways, I guess, since I didn't really feel like playing with this, but back in the day when we had the older style stuff and we didn't have chisels and bits, what I used to do was set up void miners. I used to set up multiple ender quarries and crank them up as fast as I possibly could and just pump worlds into those machines. So it was lots and lots of fun. We don't have those anymore, so now we play various things. Anyhow, we got that sorted, and it looks like I have a few new friends. Let's see if we have any good friends. Did we get any good friends? I got another one of you. You're... Goodbye. I'm still waiting on good friends to show up. He might be a good friend. We'll see. Are we working up here? Everybody's... Uh-oh, we got one stuck. Let's see. What did we get? I've given up on trying to keep this corner working. Go down. Thank you. Is this the same guy that we've had all the time? Yes, I believe so. And who are you, sir? You're a librarian. Hang on a minute. I'm going to go do a little bit of trading and see what we got. Well, nope. Nope. And nope. I can get all of those pretty decently easy and cheap at this point, so you come here with me, sir, and we'll go on about the rest of our day. Goodbye. Let's drop down here and get all this stuff out of our inventory. I guess I have this stupid wand I keep forgetting I use, and we can put a bunch of that away for now. So what we need to do today, we're going to continue to work on forward. We're going to continue to try to get the rest of this sorted. And part of the reason why I spent a bit of time in between episodes setting up crafting recipes and doing a few things is because of the nastiness that is coming up very, very, very shortly. And as you notice, I've already got it cracked open is because I already crafted one, and then I realized that I had a mess of other things that I needed to do, and I didn't get to share it with you guys. So we're going to start all over again with this crafting thing. In order to be able to do one more little bitty kind of thing that we need to do, which is we need to be able to get platinum. Platinum is going to be a big part of our lives as far as moving forward to getting out of this screwed up zone. So platinum dust, for those of you that don't know, I believe it's platinum plates. We use these for quantum tanks, but it's not this, it's this. Where is it? Do it the easy way. Rocket engine. If we haven't said it already, we need platinum for almost all of this, mainly because of the enderium ingots. I can make this stuff right now. We already have the capability of doing that. The other problem that I'm noticing at this point, and I have been noticing for a while, is the mana-infused plates, and I don't exactly know where we're gonna get the mana for this, unless it's one of these end mithril ore, which I have yet to see. Real quick look, it's probably in one of these little lists of things. There's nether mithril ore, which, I mean, it may or may not exist. And some of the stuff that's been happening with some of these, like I said, the mana producing things, this, I have no idea where it's coming from. And, you know, like I said, if it's in the end, which it hasn't been mentioned in any of the other lists so far, like the, where is it? Ore resources, it hasn't been mentioned in here yet. So I have no idea where we're supposed to get that, how we're supposed to get that, and I figure as we kind of wander our way on through things, we may end up finding out. But for now, what I'm worried about is the platinum, because the platinum will let us get into enderium, which enderium is going to be something that we can use to upgrade some of these thermal machines to actually work. So let's speak on what I have done in between episodes. The first major monster is this dude right here. I went ahead and made a grinder from Tech Reborn and loaded it full of overclocker upgrades because of the fact we needed to get a absolute crap ton of beryllium. And let's see, BRY, beryllium cells. We needed an absolute butt ton of these things. Like I said, like 100 or so of these things. And how you get this is either going to be ender pearl dust or emerald dust. And I did not go the emerald dust mainly because of the fact we have 25,000 ender pearls sitting over there. 25,000 ender pearls, and they come in anytime I want them. So you have two ways of getting ender pearl dust or ender dust. And here's the monster, and here's the thing that you need to pay attention to when you do this section of the pack if you haven't done it already, is the Tech Reborn, come on, ender pearl dust can be got through ender pearl powders, or it can be done by grinding an ender pearl, and you get 2 per. Now, this is a no-brainer at this point, even though we have thousands and thousands of ender pearls, because of the fact that if I run this through a pulverizer, I get 1 of these, or if I do, well, I said we do this trick or we do this trick. If you go this direction, this I don't understand this. I still don't understand why this exists. But this is done through taking a single ender pearl. You get 9 ender pearl powder. You take the ender pearl powder, you can turn 9 of those back into an ender pearl dust. So it just no-brainer, absolutely no sense in not doing it that way. So because of the fact that we have, this stuff here, this thing is insanely fast, and it will do the majority, or if not all, of the same recipes that the sag mill does. So we sped up the grinding of various little things, especially this stuff in here, quite a ways by doing that. So the little sag mill, he's just going to sit over there for right now, or I might put him away and we do whatever. So that's one of the first things that we did. That gets then processed in the ender pearl dust electrolyzer thingy here, and I've got a little bit left over because I haven't run any of it. We did make an industrial centrifuge, and I don't remember if we did that this episode or last episode. And of course, my crushers are going to sit here and make all kinds of noise at this point. Let's just turn all of that down a little more. The industrial centrifuge we needed, I think I had to make this an episode or 2 before, but essentially it was pretty simple. It's just another extractor and a whole bunch of stuff. We needed the industrial centrifuge for another product, which is going to be helium. So helium cells are got by taking glowstone dust or endstone dust and running it through an industrial centrifuge with an empty cell, and you'll get gold dust, redstone, and the helium cell, or something along this direction here. We need this so we can craft these, so let's get into the wormhole of what I did otherwise between episodes. And like I said, I already crafted one of these things, and then I decided I'll be nice and throw it away, and we can let the whole process work again. The big problem with the fusion control stuff, so let's look at fusion real quick and we can mark this stuff. Fusion. We need one of these, and these are supported by these, and you also need one of these inside of it. So a fusion control dude here is energy flow circuits, which are going to be advanced electric circuits, tungsten ingots, iridium alloy plates, Lapatron crystals, and this wonderful fun stuff. So, or you can craft them in here if you want to craft them in here. That's perfectly fine. I did not do this, and I probably should have, but it is one of those, we don't have platinum, so we can't. That's right, I can't because I don't have platinum. So energy flow circuits required a Lapatron crystal, which means we had to automate and set up all of that in here. That also requires us to make a handful of this, and this is one of those rather, I call this kind of expensive. I'm glad I have all the gunpowder and sand that I ever want in the world, because it's kind of crazy to make one iridium alloy plate. Takes 16 TNT. That means a stack of TNT only makes 4 of these things. So that gets really, 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 really crazy after a little while there. Okay, so those are just those parts right there. The energy crystals, of course, I think we probably already had that programmed in. And before I touch on anything else, this is just the fusion control computer. That's just the computer, and it has one of these fusion cells. And you're thinking, okay, well, that didn't sound too bad. Why are you talking about this took all day? All week? Well, it took quite a while because of this recipe. We did this a while ago so that we could craft the fusion implosion thingy. So all of these are programmed, ready to go. So that means we need chrome plates And I believe we're doing this recipe here. So that's a highly advanced machine frame, which is an advanced machine frame, which is all these little problems here. And then that goes into these data control circuits, which are then data storage circuits, which is emerald plates and a whole bunch of fun stuff. And again, I think we could probably make this a little easier in an assembly machine, but again, I need platinum plates to do that. So we're using all this fun stuff. Plus chrome. Chrome is fun to get because chrome is chrome dust, which chrome is an industrial electrolyzer that we use to get ruby dust, and it takes 9 of them per each chrome dust. So we're still digging through a lot of stuff here. Please keep up. We're not even halfway through it. Superconductors. We looked at this a little bit ago. We needed superconductors, so those require the energy flow circuits that we've spoken of before, iridium alloy plates, and helium coolant cells, which are this and this, which we've already done. So that's why the centrifuge is up. All of this stuff should be ready to go. Then we have nichrome heating coils. And nichrome heating coils, again, are chrome ingot, nickel ingots. Get you 2 of them. Simple, easy, done, over with. Are we still here? Let's have fun now. The iridium neutron reflector requires thick neutron reflectors and an iridium ingot. These all require a beryllium cell, which again, as I stated, was an ender pearl dust or something along these lines and a bunch of stuff. So technically 8 ender pearls per each beryllium cell. Back out of here, neutron reflectors require coal powder, tin dust, and copper plates. Again, all of that had to be programmed. So if we back out of here, this took a lot of stuff. Just for one of these takes a lot of stuff to craft in order to get it through. There's a ton of charcoal, there's a ton of things, there's a ton of just random all over resources that that are required to make that work. So I spent a lot, like I said, about the reason why we have so much of this right now is because that literally took several hours to program and make sure that almost all of this stuff was functioning correctly. And it's not because it's broken. Running a whole ton of just regular old refined steel through that, whole bunch of iridium through that, whole bunch of chrome through that, whole bunch of just, it was a good time. It was a good time. It was a definite point in the pack where I was going to say, this is a point where we finally hit a really, really hard spot that I haven't had in a long time. So, fusion. These guys right here. I need 17 of those things. And if I'm lucky and everything is still correct, I don't have any CPUs that can do that because of the fact that that's 27,000 bytes of stuff that can function. I thought we had some 64s up here. Well, how about that? Do me a humongous favor. Make me a 16K or 2. 16K. I thought I had that programmed. Uh-oh. Can I have... Well, then let's program that in. 16K times storage component go. And then we'll put you up here somewhere in the list of junk. I guess we'll put you right there for now and craft me a 64K. 64Ks, I believe, are just, what, 3 of those? Yeah, cool. So make 2 more of those 16s, and we'll knock one of these out real fast, and then we'll press the button and watch it craft it. I think. That shouldn't take very long. It's just got to craft a bunch of those things. So, yeah, I'll be back once it gets done making all these things. Alrighty then. So that's done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dink. And I'm going to go, give me this one. Thank you. And then we're going to come down here and make a single 64 for this so we can do this. It shouldn't take much. I think the only thing we're going to need it to do is make a processor of this type. So that'll take a couple of seconds, but that won't take long. It's just got to grow that crystal, and then it'll punch it out and do all the things. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. It doesn't take long. Sometimes. Anyway. Cool. And then it punches that out, and then we can go back to doing 64K. Go. Thank you. And then all I got to do is add this to that, and we get a 64K crafting computer CPU thingy, which I probably should go ahead and just upgrade all of these into that, but now we should be able to at least do the work. So, fun times will be had by all. Fusion coils times 17 of them. Everything should be there, and we sit here and watch it. And done. After probably a good 10-15 minutes. I did have to restart it in the middle of it because we had an OR dictionary function problem because of the fact that it was looking for thermal coal, pulverized coal, and we're producing tech reborn coal because of the way everything works. So I will probably have to change that recipe to do other things so that we know now what it is, but that's perfectly fine. Fusion coils. We now need to make one of these, which these shouldn't be too hard to do. We need 2 more of these. So yeah, we already had the energy crystals ready to go. I just need a couple of more energy flow circuits. So energy, couple of more, 3 more. I think these are made in an odd number anyway, right? Aluminum plates, all that stuff. That shouldn't take a horrible amount of time. Those are all fairly simple products aside from the fact that it's got to do this part. But yeah, the worst part about that recipe is it took like 5,000 or 6,000 pulverized materials, which means you're waiting on a machine like a grinder or a crusher or something to make those materials. And that's kind of the reason why I went ahead and made this, because that's about as fast as we can grind coal and other things. I did have to move a couple of recipes around, and I moved a few other little things to where they needed to go so we could actually make it in, less than an hour of time. But I think at that point we're probably pretty close to being good there. There is the fusion controller, and we need a Z fusion. Fusion coils. These are, that's a royal pain. I mean, I'm glad I got everything set up the way that I wanted to do it and everything working pretty reasonably quickly. I mean, there was a whole lot of handcrafting in these things because there is quite a bit of stuff that I don't have automated. Like I don't have the iridium alloy plates automated through this thing, and I don't have, well, the helium cells and the beryllium cells and all that stuff that you need in order to be able to do this stuff, because of the fact that that's going to be a one-off craft for that. I may need to stack more of all that stuff. Maybe. I may need to stack more of the stuff that it took to make this thing. So let's go put it down, and then we can probably go on with the end of the episode at this point. So that is our fusion control computer. If you click on it, it says, please require all this stuff. We're going to do a small size. I don't need to use this for anything other than to craft stuff. So, boop. Built, done, everything should be fit, ready to go. We need to make a couple of, well, we just need one, I believe. Let me get a flux point. Do I have any on me? Can I craft a flux point? Maybe. Go ahead, do that real quick. It's got this really wonky spot where I have to cancel it right there and then do it again. which is fine. It's just because that one thing has I guess an NBT dated dealy whatever in it that now we've got a few of them. So flux point times 1. I actually wanted another one. Make 2, please. Okay, we'll do 2 for right now. So we're going to talk about this dude really quickly, and then we're going to end the episode. Basically, what I want to do now is I want to start juicing this thing up so that it can do the crafting that we need to do the crafting with. And the only way it can do that is if you give it power from the sides. So we're going to go ahead and say power out there, and no limit, and power out here, and no limit, and we're going to let that thing suck down all of our power and do everything that we need to do. It has to fill up quite a bit as far as being able to do stuff, but what we're after at this point is this recipe right here. So once we have a little bit of wolfram and beryllium, which wolfram is going to be the next thing that I need to actually go work on in that industrial electrolyzer, then we'll be on our very good way. So I guess I'm going to have to run a bunch of that stuff through there. We have a bunch of tungsten as it sits, so I may have to just do this and tell it not to export or do whatever, but I'll have to sort that out or whatever. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Fusion control computer with the fusion ring. Again, we're going to make the basic baby one because the only thing we're going to be using this thing for is to get platinum. So I guess, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a kind of a long episode to build and play with. It's taken several days, so I'm glad it's over with, and now we can start playing with this thing. So see you guys in the next one. Bye.